we doing today? I'm doing great because today we're talking about everything that I watched in the month of December, so all the shows and movies. And I will say I watched a lot, which is very surprising. Like, I always have big goals for December and I never hit them all. I still missed quite a few, but I watched a lot. I think that's what helped, is that at the start of the month I was a little bit sick and I couldn't really do much except just watch stuff, so I did. And therefore we're gonna be talking about quite a few things. There's timestamps in the description to the 3 different sections in this video, which is shows watched, currently watching, and movies watched, so you can click around to do whatever you're interested in. And let's begin with the first show I watched this month, which is Single Bells season 2, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars to. This is a like Flemish show. It's a Christmassy one. I watched it last year, the first season when that came out. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't really see how they were going to do a sequel because I felt like, okay, point reached. But I was still very excited for the second season, and it honestly did not disappoint. I thought it was really well done. I did a whole review for it on my second channel in case you're interested in it, but I don't know, I thought it was a very fun, again, Christmas rom-com kind of thing. I think it deals with certain conflicts in a way that's surprisingly complex and mature, which I also really enjoyed. I do think there were some things that felt a little bit stupid or like redundant, but ultimately I thought this is just a really fun like seasonal watch. Then next I watched The Great season 1, which I give 4 out of 5 stars to. This is a show that's been on my want to watch list for so long because I've heard so many great things about it, but it recently got added to Netflix where I live, so I had no excuse, especially when I was sick and could do nothing else but watch shit. So I watched it and I flew through this first season. It is so addicting and also so much fun. Like, I laughed so much while watching the show. It's also a bit absurd, like in a good way, and I don't know, I thought this was so much fun. It's not perfect. I do think it gets a tiny bit repetitive at parts, but it's unhinged in the best way possible. And then I also immediately watched The Great season 2, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars to as well. I like this a little bit less than the first season. I do think again it gets a bit more repetitive as it goes on, and it also just feels less concentrated with a lot more going on. But I do think this is a great season, continues the story in a great way, and I still had so much fun watching it, and also made me ship ships I didn't think was possible from the first season, so that's always great. Then we have The End of an Era, which is a mini series, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars to. Obviously, I love Taylor Swift. I love the Eras tour, so obviously I was gonna give this 5 stars. I am biased, I know that, but this is actually not what I was expecting. I feel like when it comes to kind of like tour documentaries, I feel like it so often focuses on like the artist's life a little bit, and I feel like that wasn't really the case for this one. Of course, we get chunks of Taylor's life, but I feel like it focuses so much more on kind of like the tour and what it meant to her and what it meant to the other people on the tour. And I was very pleasantly surprised by how much we actually ran into the stories of her crew, and I thought it was just a great addition to it. And the different technical elements we got about the show was also really interesting, and honestly I know it would make for a boring documentary, but I would love to know all the in and outs of how a show like this gets made. Then I watched The Great season 3, which I gave 3 stars to. I wasn't the biggest fan of this season. It's still fun. It's still unhinged in the best way possible. But I feel like in this season we just had large focuses on characters and storylines that I didn't particularly care for. So therefore my enjoyment of this one also went a bit out of the window. And again, the more this goes on, the more repetitive it kind of gets. So there we go. Then next, I fell for the hype again, and I watched Heated Rivalry season 1, which I give 3 stars to. I fell for the hype when I watched it. I didn't fall for the hype, as I love it, because I generally seeing the discussions around the show has me baffled, and I think we were watching a different show because I did not see it. I don't think this is the best acting that has ever acted. I don't think this is the best chemistry has ever been. I don't think this is like a highly prestigious show that should get all the awards. What are we watching? None of that is in the show. I feel like it's actually very clunky at the start and a bit difficult to get into because of that as well. I do think it gets better and it's finding its footing more towards the ending of the show, and I'm very excited for a second season to kind of see, you know, the growth that it already went through in this one season. I'm very excited to see that more in the second season. Also, this had so many pacing issues. The pacing is all over the place, which also makes it a little bit confusing to watch at times. So I also hope that with the sheer amount of hype this got, that means the second season will also get more episodes, so they have more time to kind of like flesh things out a bit more, like lay down that pacing, because I generally think the reason why this was paced so horribly is mainly because it has only 6 episodes and that there's too much story for that, you know. But also I kind of do get the hype because it is highly addictive. Like, as much as I didn't like the first few episodes, I still was tuning in week after week after week because it did not let me go. So I totally get people who have gone in like complete, I can't think about anything else besides the show and its books, because it is a bit mind consuming. And also, like I said, I do think towards the latter half of the season it gets a bit better. And generally the finale I thought was great. Then next I watched episode of Compuna season 11, which is a rewatch, and I give 3 stars to. I thought the season was just fine. I don't know, I feel like I don't have much to say about it. It's enjoyable, of course, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it for like the billionth time in my life. But there weren't really any like standout episodes or like scenes or anything. It's there, it lives. And then my biggest accomplishment, yet biggest sadness for this month, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 7. I gave it 2 stars. I really didn't like this season, which feels weird to say because I think if you go episode by episode, I actually really liked quite a lot of episodes. I think there's even some great episodes in there, but in general, the season is so boring. And like I feel like almost nothing happens in this one. And I think the first isn't a great antagonist. It's supposed to be like this genuine, like very big threat, but like it never does anything. I also think this season was on a mission to make me hate every character besides Buffy and Spike. Mission accomplished, I guess. But why? But yeah, so it's an accomplishment because I generally like had to push myself to finish this season because I was not having a good time. But it's also a deeply sad moment because I love Buffy. Hence the Angel shirt, and it's done now. I do still have 2 seasons of Angel left, so that's a good thing. Let's get into my currently watching. Of course, we have Spring season 4, which is a rewatch. This season is a bit of a mixed bag. I still like it, but there's also like a lot of elements to it that I don't like. But I will spoil you. I finished this on the 1st of January, so you'll see my full thoughts on this season next month. Then we have The Masked Singer season 5. I will preface this also by saying like all of these like shows, technically you are supposed to be being logged in 2026, but considering like these non-fiction kind of shows that I've done my spiel about before, considering they all have like 2 episodes left before it ends, like The Masked Singer has 1 episode left, I don't think it's worth doing that. But this season is fun. It's been difficult. Again, on my second channel, I've been doing like guessing videos throughout the season, which I also think is really fun. But there we go. Then we have Percy Jackson and Olympians season 2, and I'm really sad because I've fallen behind on this one through the holidays. I just got really busy and I had a lot to do and I didn't make time for the shows that, so I've only seen 3 episodes so far, I think, so that's half of what's been out, I believe. But I really like the season so far, so I'm having fun with it, and I'm very excited once things are kind of like going to settle down and I have more time to actually spend time watching this. And then I have Frieden op Aarde season 9. This is a kind of like end of the year recap show that I really enjoy. I just think it's a fun, cozy watch every holiday season. Like I said, there's gonna be like 2 episodes left before the end of the year, so there we go. And then lastly we have Switch season 17, now not 16, because they're doing like weeks with celebrities for charity, and that's fun as well. And again, 2 episodes left, so I'm not gonna log that in 2026, but from this point onwards, every show I'm gonna talk about is logged, is reviewed, so stay tuned for that. My serial list is in the description in case you want to see that happening live. Let's get into the movies I watched this month, which is also quite the list, which is also quite the feat because I have not been watching movies this year. So the first one I watched is Jens de Donker. Het zou grappig zijn als het niet zo triestig was, which came out in 2024, and I didn't rate. I don't really tend to rate stand-up comedy that I watch, but this one I really liked. I saw this live, so I knew I was gonna like it, but I really liked watching it again when it came on TV. I think it's really fun. I did think it flew by very quickly, and now I don't know if that's because it cut out a lot, or if it generally just, it was that easy of a watch, but it just really fun, really funny. I highly recommend. Then we have Jingle Bell Heist, which came out in 2025, and I give 2 stars to. I wasn't a fan of this one. I feel like I'm the only one. I feel like I've only seen great things about this one, but I was really intrigued by the whole premise of it. I feel like it was a bit different from your typical like Christmas rom-com, but it was just a bit of a letdown. I just didn't think it was that interesting, that captivating, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. I also think the ending got a bit too convoluted for me personally. And then watched The Merry Gentleman, which came out in 2024, and I gave 4 stars to, which was such a surprise because this premise is bonkers. But I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know, I had a blast watching this. I don't think it's that great of a movie, especially like not even if you have it in the context of like these holiday rom-coms, but it's just so much fun. It's kind of what I needed when I was sick. Then we have Hollow to Holly, which went in 2022, and I give 1 star to. The fuck, this generally felt like a fever dream in the most negative way possible. This town is a cult. I don't like them. The love interest, a little bit psycho. Not gonna lie, definitely a red flag. Then next we have My Secret Santa, which went to 25, and I give 3 stars to. I think this might have been my favorite of the Netflix Christmas releases this year. It's nothing special. I feel like I was very disappointed by the ones this year. I felt like it was nothing really too special or like very standout, but I did think it was very, very cute and like had great heart to it. And that's honestly all I can ask for in a Christmas movie. Then next we have Sven de Leijer, Liefde voor Publiek, which came out in 2025. This one I was supposed to see live, but like life didn't work out, so I didn't. And now seeing it on TV was the first time. But I love Sven de Leijer. I think he's just so great with like charming a crowd and like playing a crowd, and that definitely is very well shown in this show. It's also just a very cozy watch. Definitely not one for the big laughs when it comes to like stand-up comedy, but it is like a very cozy, fun viewing experience in my opinion. Then I watched Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, the final show, which was 25, and I gave 5 stars to. I waited to watch this one until the I Love Lara documentary was done, so I'd seen all of that, and I'm really glad I did because I feel like it added some depth to the viewing experience. But even besides that, I think this is just the superior Eras Tour movie. I feel like this captures the vibe of the tour better than that first movie, and of course it also has the Torture Poets apartment set, which is sublime. And then the annual Christmas tradition, The Muppets Christmas Carol, which came out in 1992, and I gave 5 stars too. This is my favorite movie of all time. If I ever don't watch this around Christmas time, assume I'm dead. It's the definition of the perfect movie. I love it so much. And then a new Christmas tradition is A Nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter, 2024, and I gave 5 stars too. I really enjoyed this when it came out last year, and I kind of wanted to put it in my Christmas rotation, so I did this year, but I was also scared that it might not hold up upon rewatch, but it definitely did. It's such a fun time. It's not like the most sublime thing ever made, but I feel like if you like Sabrina Carpenter's humor, you'll like this. It has some fun sketches, it has some great musical performances, and I don't know, I really liked it, and I think I'll be watching it every Christmas from now on. And yeah, that's already everything for today. I feel like that went relatively quickly, especially considering how much I had to talk about. So yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of any of these shows or movies, as well as some of your favorite watches of December. I can't believe it, but the next time you're gonna see a video like this from me, it's for January 2026. That's wild. Anyway, I do, fun fact, have a video coming up towards the end of the month in which I'll be ranking all of the movies and shows that were released in 2025 that I watched. And there weren't a lot of them, so I combined them into one video, and that's gonna come soon as well in case you're interested in that. But that's it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.